Imagine with me 710 hidden horses packed into a shape that's anything but sporty or aerodynamic. A car designed to completely change everything you think about SUVs. It has insane power and torque that can launch it at crazy speeds on the asphalt. Today, we have a 2021 Dodge Durango Hellcat. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe. Let's roll, American style. This car had been in a serious accident. The front, especially the left side, was heavily damaged. Its condition was tough after the crash, likely affecting the main frame. That's why it needed a lot of work to get back to its original state. They bought it from a local auction near them. For them, this auction was a treasure because it gave them a chance to find cars in bad shape like this and take on the huge challenge of fixing them from scratch. The price? $29,000. That might sound high considering the damage, which made them wonder if the deal was worth the risk. But they knew well that after repairs, the car's value would multiply, and that encouraged them to take the plunge. As always with auctions, there were extra costs on top of the base price, everything from winning the bid to getting the car to the workshop. That pushed the total cost up to $32,000. This challenge came with some risk. They had never worked on a Durango Hellcat before. The team explained that Durangos are complex, with every part requiring special attention and expertise to fit correctly. The main goal they set for themselves? To beat their own speed record. Their previous repair record was 18 hours of non-stop, intense work. They had achieved it before on a Challenger Red Eye. The first problem they faced was unloading the car from the trailer. It seemed simple, but because of its massive weight and damage, it was nearly impossible without help. Unlike previous cars they'd worked on, the Durango Hellcat was much heavier, mainly due to extra seats in the third row. The engine ran, but smoke poured from the exhaust manifold. At first, they tried unloading it manually but got stuck midway. They had to bring in a small winch to lift the rear and safely lower it into the workshop. Once inside, it was ready for work. A small timer was set, officially starting the challenge. They began by disassembling the front to access the heavily damaged parts. One major difficulty was loosening just one lug nut on the front left wheel. It took them a full 15 minutes, giving them a taste of the time pressure. After removing the wheels and plastic covers underneath, they reached the broken suspension parts. 77 minutes into the work, they realized their timer was broken, which added extra stress. They quickly switched to a phone timer to avoid wasting more time. Luckily, they had spare parts from a previous Trackhawk project. The components, including links and shock absorbers, matched perfectly with the Durango Hellcat. This saved them both time and money. They repaired the suspension on the side affected by the crash, improving both performance and appearance. New shocks were installed, and the same was done on the other side. Once the front suspension was fixed, they moved to the rear. The rear system was completely damaged, with destroyed control arms on both sides. These parts are essential for a balanced and stable suspension. After consideration, they decided to sacrifice an old project car they called Bull Hog for temporary parts to keep the work moving until new components arrived. They noticed some modifications not listed in the auction, like a smaller supercharger pulley boosting engine power and a full exhaust manifold improving performance and sound. The biggest impact, however, was on the front chassis and engine bay. They adjusted the front frame, reconnected chains, and added extra coolant. The engine ran normally, but the battery needed replacement. After installing a new battery, they heard a strange ticking from the engine, possibly a leak in the exhaust headers or a bigger problem needing disassembly. Despite this, they test drove the car, noting unusual sounds from the front suspension. confirming more work was needed. Back in the garage, they removed the hood, fenders, and headlights to replace damaged parts. After hours of work, they discovered the shock mount had shifted, jamming the control arm and freezing the front suspension. They considered removing the engine entirely, but instead used a frame machine to pull and align the bent parts, a move they described as miraculous. After 8 hours, the front suspension and shock mounts were aligned. They reinstalled the suspension and wheels and removed the white wrap covering the red paint, revealing a glossy original finish. With some parts delayed from the dealership, one team member visited a scrap yard and found the necessary Durango parts in just 10 minutes. They installed the scrap parts temporarily until the new parts arrived, ensuring the best possible quality for the project. After roughly 13 hours of non-stop work, the main frame was repaired using a 2024 Durango Hellcat as a reference for exact measurements. They sanded and repainted the hood, fenders, and front bumper to match the original red. Although their timer hit 15 hours, they didn't beat their 18-hour record, but quality became the main focus over speed. Next, they installed the wide-body kit, painted it red, and carefully aligned every part. They replaced the headlights and fixed unexpected issues, like scratches on the side skirts, ensuring everything looked flawless. They also repaired and repainted the rear bumper and fenders, achieving a unified, aggressive look. Interior work included replacing the dashboard, airbag systems, seats, and controls. They even fixed a non-original sunroof installed previously. All wiring, HVAC, and trim pieces were carefully reinstalled. Finally, the white protective wrap inside the rear bumper was removed. The car now looked brand new, inside and out. With exterior and interior restoration complete, they agreed not to sell the car. They got an excellent deal, restored it perfectly, and now it stands as one of the best Durango Hellcats in the region. And that wraps up the Durango repair journey. Thanks for sticking with us. Let us know what type of restoration you want to see next, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Peace.